you need something that can track the amount of water that you're drinking. A large water bottle can really help. It has all the amounts all the way up to 2.6 liter, which isn't enough for a whole day, but you can add another one, and I will have another one soon. And so I can just combine two and get the 3,800 milliliter. That's, I think it's 1 gallon that's required. That's 3,800 milliliter right here in one go. Last time I didn't have enough water bottles, and so I always repurposed the same one. And what happened was, one of the days I fucked up and I forgot to refill once, and so I had to restart from day one. So investing in something like this is extremely worth it. It's a very small amount of money for potentially your victory of the challenge. Also something that you can use, quick life hack, use these cups from festivals and stuff. They go up to half a liter. I don't know what that is in the US metric, whatever. But you can just pour it in, and so you get like, even if you don't have something like this, you can just measure how many glasses you drink if the glass is measured with proper measurements over here. A lot of cups that you get from festivals and stuff, from pubs as well, if you don't return the cups, you get these free cups, and they're really good for this as well. Another pro tip that I wish I had the last time is a water filter. Now I know this is nasty, but that's because the water here is terrible, and so this is extremely important. If where you're from, tap water isn't safe to drink, you can't just rely on buying water from the grocery store. It can be, it can be essential to just have more, because you need to drink so much water. It actually costs quite a bit. So this is something that's called a water filter. This isn't just a water can. And so I love this because it can filter the water. Obviously it's not perfect, but it's like 98% filters it. And yeah, you can get some free water, so you don't have to carry the water up and down and go to the shop for extra water at night. Okay, another pro tip that I wish I had the last time is the isotonic drink capsules or whatever. You can get this in powder form, you can get this in capsules as well. This is super important because if you move around a lot, especially if you do running, you sweat out a lot of minerals that your body needs, and so you will start to feel tired after a couple of days, even though you are drinking coffee and everything like that. But this will solve that issue, and so this is very important. And ever since I bought these, sometimes I would feel terrible. I would just take this just to see if it helps, and quite a few times it actually helps with extra fatigue, extra tiredness. Yeah, and a small water bottle for the everyday training that you do outside, extremely crucial, because you can get some extra milliliters in. Obviously only towards the end, because by the end of the challenge you will kind of know how to not have the urge to pee, even though you have like a lot of water inside of you. And so you can really use these to make your days more efficient. And of course, guys, I mean, you can't go wrong with the protein. Super important to keep on top of your diet, to eat healthy. And so I'll be buying this, not this big one, because this is almost empty now. I'll be repurchasing something like this as well. Don't worry about the brand and stuff. Most proteins are safe, at least here in Europe. They have to be tested in order to be sold. But get something that's legit. Don't buy some cheap ass proteins and then have an upset stomach and stuff. And if you aren't eating proteins regularly, like protein powder, I would say just buy like a test bag, like a 1 portion test bag, just to see how your stomach reacts, because you might be sensitive to the powder that is normal, and you might need a special one which is like I think it's vegan or something. Yeah, that can be life-changing, because these cost quite a bit of money, but they are also a ton of value and a lot of calories as well. So yeah, just make sure to make the right choices, right? So Next thing, this is especially when you're from up north, and Februarys can be very cold here in Hungary as well. Extremely cold, especially when the wind blows. You want to have something that you can wear under your training pants or training shorts, because yeah, it can get really freezing. And if you have some underdress, I don't know if that's the right word, but if you have like some ski dressing, that works as well. I just wear these old pajamas because they're honestly perfect. They're tight to my body and they don't let any cold through, so perfect. And yeah, I always recommend some earbuds, because some days you will just be walking outside and you want to like listen to a podcast or something. Put on some earbuds, that's completely fine. Walking is allowed, and walking is an exercise that can be done, and it is completely legit. Same for stretching as well. You can just stretch for 45 minutes on some days. Obviously, if you do it every day, the challenge becomes very pointless, unless you want to be like really, really flexible. I remember the last time I did a lot of stretching and I thought I was very clever, like kind of cheating the system a little bit. But then I got really flexible, and I actually had a lot of problems with flexibility as well. So it's really good to mix it up, you know. On some days when you feel like your body is completely spent, you can literally just walk and stretch, and that is completely fine and it is allowed. Right, guys, so for the penultimate thing, you want to have not a phone, you want to have a power bank. I have my power bank somewhere, doesn't matter, because especially if you have like an older phone that has bad battery, you don't want to end up delaying your workout outside because your phone is running out of juice. You need to get like super cheap power bank, because it can literally save you hours, or like at least half an hour, and that can literally change how your day goes. And finally, the most important thing, guys, habit tracker. Print out a habit tracker. You can get them online. Just literally Google habit tracker, see what pops up. You can print these out, and extremely useful to visualize how you're going with the challenge. Yeah, just print out 4 or 5 of these, and just under the habits write the requirements, so the workouts, the water, the progress picture, and get into the habit of filling them before you go to bed, so you make 150% sure that there's no way you skipped anything at all. It's very, very important to have that. I think that's the most important part of all of the gears. Without the habit tracker, the 75 hard challenge is extremely like impossible. Even if you have a tracker on your phone, unless you train yourself to be obsessed about opening it every time before bed and checking it multiple times a day, it just makes the challenge harder. Have a paper tracker on your desk or wherever you spend the most time. I'm gonna buy a bit more of these. I think I'm gonna buy some powder form isotonic drink powders, just so I'm stacked up. I'm gonna buy some more protein. I already have everything else pretty much. I'm definitely gonna bulk order a lot of food that doesn't expire, like rice and stuff, because I know that I don't really have the mental capacity or the physical time to shop and to pick and choose stuff when I'm doing the challenge. It is very, very time consuming. Yeah, and the first couple of days are really gonna be the most important part. That's the hardest, the first week or two, and then it becomes very easy as you get into the routine after about 2 weeks, and it stays easy until March, when your friends are starting to invite you and you start to feel the need to go out again, and that's when it becomes hard. Like around day 60, it becomes very, very hard. And it's not necessarily because of the amount of days, although perhaps that might be it, but it's also because, you know, in March, perhaps early April, social life starts to pick back up, and so you have to say no to the social invitations, or you have to go and suffer because you can't drink. And yeah, it sucks. This is part of the challenge, saying no to these amazing fun events. And trust me, you won't miss too much stuff. And after this challenge, you will see how much better you are by skipping them. I think this is meant to be like this. I think this is part of the challenge, and That's the reason it's actually 75 days, not like 30 or 45 days. I will also be starting the challenge in 2 days, so I hope you will be able to join me. If you're watching this in the future as well, you are very welcome to follow along, and I can give you a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, and just you can see how it's done. Perhaps you can see my hurdles if I fail and I have to restart. There's one thing that I know for sure. This year I'm gonna finish the 75 hard, just as I did last year. Last year it took 105 days, that is completely fine. This year I hope it only takes 75 or so. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Give it a like, subscribe, and see you guys very soon.